Let me ask you this. So, how might those of us working with youth, how might we cultivate post-traumatic growth without personally traumatizing our youth?
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I don't recommend, hurting them so they're paraplegic or, giving
right,
them
right, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, is it possible? Is there a way that we can promote empathy such that perhaps the youth can kind of jump into someone else's shoes and experience that understanding? Is there any science behind that?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think, everybody goes through tough times, right? I was, in some ways kind of, like belittling in some sense the fact that a lot of my Yale students' stress is sort of self-imposed about grades and their extracurriculars and things. But, compassionately, that's just as much stress as other people experience, right? Like it's causing them harm, it's causing them a lot of sadness. And I think if you take a compassionate look at it, you can often see that they need just as much help, right? But the key is that, all of us go through things that are stressful and harmful, right? We may not call it trauma necessarily, but all these kinds of stresses can sort of make us stronger if we use them correctly. And the key to this post traumatic growth is really to like recognize the like how this sort of tough time is shaping your own narrative, right? And to really have a narrative change that comes with it. So the post traumatic growth is like increased sense of meaning and social connection comes with it comes with allowing yourself to sort of watch this narrative change, like for you to realize, hey, this awful thing that I went through changed me and it made me stronger. And so I think one way that you can help your youth towards that is that if they're going through tough times, even if they're, like tough times light, in the way that, we sometimes work with students who are going through that sort of thing, if you can help them to reframe that as something that they grew through, as something that made them stronger, as something that taught them something important, if you help them get to that narrative, that can be really powerful. And if you, especially given that you're kind of working in the ministry domain, if you can work with them to use that moment to think about what's meaningful to them and what they learned in terms of the bigger picture, all the more powerful.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.